This episode is brought to you by ServiceNow. Look, I have my dream job. I watch tennis, I think about tennis, I talk about tennis, but even dream jobs have not so dreamy parts. The stuff that gets in the way of the actual work. That's where ServiceNow's AI specialists come in. They don't just tell you what you should do about your busy work, they actually do it, start to finish. Cases closed, requests handled, no extra work for you. That way, you and your team can focus on the work that matters, which for me is explaining at length why tennis players are the best athletes on earth. Sorry, everyone else on earth. To learn how to put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com. Hey everyone, welcome to Serve, brought to you by ServiceNow. We had a lot of new listeners. Brazil tuned in after Fonseca beat Novak. Just subscribe. Then you get to see us more often. We'd love to talk to you. JW, greetings. Hope Paris is treating you well. I'm sure there are fireworks going off outside of your apartment for Paris Saint-Germain.
And I was going to say, can you hear the authentic background noise? That's exactly what's happening. I don't know if you are you catching that seriously? That ambient noise? It's been this way for hours now.
I can't hear it outside. I could definitely hear it when I was watching Big Foe just now. Street right behind him, people just setting off firecrackers and everything else, just going nuts. So
you can see him. You sure it's not for Diane Parry? You sure it's for PSG and not for Diane Parry?
It's been a big day for Parry.
I don't know. I mean, I'd bet on it not being for her yet. Maybe if she has a good week on top of this good week. Okay, well, let's get through the results from today pretty quickly because then we have redraw.
Yeah, we're going to do the women's recap and then into the women's redraw.
Yep.
And then we will do men's recap into the men's redraw.
Sounds good. We are still waiting on Big Foe, and we are still waiting on FAA Nakashima as we do this because we're going to try to get it out. It's that fine line, Mike. Getting stuff out versus waiting for everything. But such is the life of a podcaster.
See? This is media. This is what we do.
This is what it's come to for me, Mike.
This is it. You stooped really low.
All right. Pari beats Anisimova. A couple of interesting storylines. We have two players, one on the men's side, one on the women's side, that won a challenger. One was a week before Roland Garros, and one was 2 weeks before. So we always talk about how winning at any level becomes contagious. To be clear, challengers are minor league tournaments. So highest number one seed is, usually 80 in the world, something like that. We're not getting Alcaraz at these events, but you build a little momentum, then all of a sudden, fourth round of Roland Garros. You kind of always try to value that recency bias. Takes out Anisimova. Anisimova didn't have a lot of matches coming in. It kind of looked that way at the end of that one, JW.
Yeah, exactly. She had that wrist injury, and to Diane Parry's credit, 7-6 in the third. I mean, this is a player. I don't. If she was top 100 coming in, it was barely. And here she is, biggest match of her life, her home major. She's playing a player that's been to two major finals in the last year, and she stared her down. And she was the more solid player, the more emotionally composed player. I don't know quite what's going on with the Anisimova camp. I mean, I don't know if that was remnants of a wrist injury, remnants of not having played much, but that one's got to sting. I mean, she can play on clay, and all credit to Diane Parry, but that was one of many mystifying. We're going to use words like crazy and unpredicted and batshit. Keep in mind the women is far and away the more formful of the two draws we're going to be discussing tonight. But the nice win for career for Diane Parry.
Yeah, well, Anisimova was sick yesterday, I guess, and was a little congested, a little under the weather. It seemed in the press conference, and apparently also was blistering, pretty bad from not playing for 2 months.
If you don't play a bunch of tournaments and you haven't gotten a lot of court time for whatever reason, blisters show up. Parry was not ranked in the top 100. I don't think she was close. I think there had to be an injury of some sort. She's been in as high as around 40 before. I want to say she was coming in 180. So just to be clear, she would not have been in the main draw of this event if it was played anywhere but France.
First top 10 win of her career.
Is that right? Oh, wow. Well, congratulations to her getting through it. Osaka Jovic was a big one today. Props to Naomi Osaka. This has not traditionally been her favorite surface. I thought Jovic played well. I thought Osaka, has stepped up. We're going to talk about the parts that aren't just the entry of Naomi to these matches. But listen, Jovic is amazing. I think she's a top 5 player at some point, like very, very soon. And the people who have been able to play really big, whether it's Sabalenka in Australia, whether it's Osaka here, I think she has some catching up to do physically to kind of handle the power of these big hitters. But Iga Jovic is, this does nothing for my enthusiasm for her career moving forward. But well done for Naomi, right?
Into the first week of this tournament, into the second week of this tournament for the first time in her career, Naomi Osaka.
Is that true?
And yeah, I mean, never been to a second week of Roland Garros before today. I saw Jovic after the match walking around. This one stung. I mean, this wasn't like, hey, happy to be here, lost to a future Hall of Famer. So, I mean, that match was there for the taking, and it just seemed as though, the backhand let her down a couple of spots, a couple of tiebreakers. I mean, that match was right there. I think that's a pretty good sign, but good for Naomi Osaka. She advances, but she had to work for it too, which I think sometimes she just comes and she's hitting so cleanly. This was a real grind and a very, very close. I don't know if it was beautiful tennis. I don't know if it was the match of the day, but certainly from a scoreline perspective, Naomi Osaka's got to be really happy.
Yeah, Naomi. I mean, she hits it so big. You rarely look. It's all on her racket a lot of the times, and I mean, even Jovic today with as cleanly as she can kind of maintain the center of the court. You handful of matches maybe throughout Naomi's career where you're like, that was unbelievable tennis, and it's not because it's just bad tennis. It's because Naomi hits it so firmly that it's tough to actually control the proceedings if you're playing against her. I think it's. Shot tolerance matters. If you can beat her to the punch, which we're going to see a race to it from here on out with Sabalenka against Osaka, which we'll get to. That also is going to be who can just get on the front foot first and who can maybe serve better, get a couple of foul ball returns. But credit to Naomi Osaka. She's really leaned into this tournament and the clay. Sabalenka, tough second set, but kind of has there been as quiet a progression with Sabalenka as far as attention paid to her in the last couple of years than this tournament, JW?
But I had a line stored up similarly for Iga, but same idea. I mean, Sabalenka has just kind of done what she does, and she does. Remember, I think we've said this before, but the book on her used to be, you never know what she's going to get, and she's either the Arctic or the Sahara. Now, she does not lose in week one of majors. And I think that we saw today. I mean, we've seen it. This tournament stands for that proposition. It is not a given that top players just win their first 4 matches and then we're in the business end. And she's done this for, we're talking years now that she just doesn't get much trouble in the first week of tournaments. And these are, we look to the draw on their third potential, Kazakina's not playing at her power level, but she can be a tricky player and just, it's been a very smooth first week for our top seed on the women's side.
Yeah, she's been rolling. I think there's been such a crazy amount of erratic storylines that are kind of shocking, and I think she's cruised right under the radar, along with Iga, who we'll get to in the redraw show. Madison Keys is one of those players where I know it matters. But it matters way less than other players what her form is if she gets 2 or 3 matches into an event and starts striking the ball the way she has. I watched the match with Mboko today. She's hitting the ball real clean. When she was able to, I love that forehand when she kind of drifts to her left and she's on the backhand side, but it hits a forehand and then rips it inside in. You just know it's coming, and there's almost nothing that you can do about it. But Maddie was competing her ass off today, and Mboko, I still think has Grand Slam winner written all over at some point. But nothing in the lead up would suggest that Maddie Keys was going to go on a run and play as well as she did in week 1. But JW, she has to be one of those players where when she does, I'm not concerned with what she did in Rome if she's in the 4th round of a Grand Slam, right? She's played well week 1. She kind of like just reestablishes upside almost immediately.
Yeah, I would add end healthy, which she seems to be, and I had heard wasn't coming into this tournament. I don't know if she cut a. I don't know if she. I don't have it in front of me, but I had heard she was a little bit digged up, but she's looked great. And as you say, I mean, the power is power, but she is a much better clay player than she herself gives herself credit for. I mean, she sort of does the sandbag and my status update is so. She knows what she's doing on the surface, and when she is healthy, competing and hitting that forehand, I think this, keep it. Well, we'll get to our redraw show, but she suddenly has sort of put herself in the conversation squarely.
Yeah, and I think she's one of the players that I don't know if she benefits a ton from the clay being dry, which makes the movement more slippery, and then she can create her own pace without the benefit of weather and the ball jumping. I think as the temperature cools, I don't think that does anything to kind of negatively affect Maddie's chances. She can create as much speed from a dead ball on that forehand side. It's almost like it's like whiplash. As anyone in the tournament, Kalinskaya rolls through, Schneider gets through. Big story of the day. It's going to be the headlines all over the place. Potapova defeats Gauff, and I'm watching this one. Coco makes everything so physical, right? And Potapova she didn't take a lot of swings off today. I mean, literally just going after every single ball, and there were some rough rallies. Coco kind of the serve was okay. She didn't have her first double fault until the second set breaker. She just kind of missed some shots that you're not really used to her missing in that second set. And then all of a sudden, when you get to a third set and it's a fight, it's kind of even money. It was like the opposite of what we've seen from Coco. The serve was okay through the first two sets. Third set, like the ground game, I think, let her down a little bit today, JW.
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, I was on another match, and then you sort of see that. I mean, Potapova, by the way, let's just a word on her. Remember way back in Rome? Can you remember that far back?
Yes.
That was like
when
3 weeks
Sinner
ago.
was by far the best player in the world, and he was going to win the French Open.
Yeah, Sinner was untouchable, and Potapova had to qualify. It was like 8 weeks ago, she was barely in the top 100. She had to qualify for the previous event, and here she is. And I don't even know how big we talked about this, I think, on the first draw show. We knew this was going to be a tough match for Coco, but I was on another match and was looking at the stats, and then I'm like, I don't know what happened, because you're right, from a stats perspective, it wasn't like we saw double-digit double faults in the forehand. I just think Coco is such a fighter, but there are times when she can be outfought.
We're going to mention the qualifying in Rome. She made semis of Madrid. It was a big run in Madrid for her. So she had
Rybakina.
She was a lucky loser.
Lucky loser in Madrid, and then here we are. However many beats Rybakina, beats Gauff, and at the French Open. Yeah, this one I just felt like Coco was going to dig it out the entire time.
That's what.
And then once they got to the, she got up 6-5. Potapova, but it was like Potapova was up in the first set, let it get away. Way up in the second set, let it get away, and then Coco had her in the breaker and made. I mean, even Lindsay was on the call, and she was like, "These are just weird airs. Like they were kind of out of nowhere rally balls, which is not normally what you'd expect from Coco. It wasn't as if she was going after the forehand and missing it or double faulting, and that's why you play it every day. The past is a hint at the future, but by no means does it make it a rule. But credit to Potapova. Are we going to get into this redraw show? Because we need it.
Yeah, I mean,
we're talking about the women. We need it here. God knows what the depth of our desire and desperation is on the men's side. But
I'm almost embarrassed to make picks again on the men's side. I almost we'll go quick. Any changes, JW? You besides Rybakina going to the final?
So I had Sabalenka. To beat Potapova. Could that be right?
In the semis, I have Sabalenka beating.
Right now
I have Sabalenka beating Osaka. I have Keys beating Schneider. I have Sabalenka beating Keys. I have Potapova in the semis. Sabalenka in the final. My final is the same. It is intact. I'm taking Svitolina, Bencic. I think I had that. I had Iga, Kostyuk. I have Iga beating Svitolina, Iga beating Mira Andreeva, Iga beating Sabalenka. As I say it out loud, that is a brutal draw. You could make the argument that Kostyuk is one of the 6 best players in the tournament right now. Svitolina is, Mira Andreeva is, Sabalenka is. So Iga, I picked her to win, and none of the people that she is in line to play have played badly this tournament. They've all been in form, and it's a rough draw.
What a draw. She got first week she didn't have to play Ostapenko, and then the draw gods kind of got to her in week 2. I have Iga beating Kostyuk. I like Kostyuk. Great guest.
Yep.
If you want to go back and listen, by the way. But I don't think Kostyuk's ever beaten her. So I think Iga in form beats a player who's never beaten her before. I have Andreeva. I have how about I asked her this flatly, Kristea. I said, this is the time where you tell us you're extending your career, and she would not bite at my question. She's very cool and funny and friendly about it. But I have Kristea beating Andreeva. That's a little mini upset. But I have Svitolina to the final where Sabalenka beats her. Actually, you know what? I mean, we had a bunch of whiffs, but this isn't a disaster. This isn't riddled with bullet holes.
No.
The way
I mean, your Raducanu pick
was
was a bit of a disaster, but besides that, it's yeah. We'll get to the disasters on the men's side coming up. Andreeva's played great. I love Kristea. It's just hard for me to pick against someone who's in form and young and is going to get there. I got to think that Iga would probably rather play Kristea because she likes to bully ball people, right? Like big to the corners. So will be interesting. I listen, as I'm saying it out loud, Iga beating Kostyuk, Svitolina, Mira Andreeva or Kristea, who have been on fire, and then Sabalenka. Big ask. I ain't fading it now, though. Picked her before the tournament. I'm going to pick her again, but the people she has to go through to win this tournament have only played better than when we did the redraw show before. Go through men's results, producer Mike, and then we'll hopefully we might have to make some adjustments on the fly, but
I know I had to redo my women's draw, so I had Coco winning.
You did?
Yeah.
How's that going?
Yeah, not great.
Who do you have winning now?
I switched to Iga.
You did?
Yeah.
If I hadn't picked her at the beginning, I think just based on, I will say there's a lot more informed players based on like the month coming into Roland Garros on the women's side than on the men's side. Like the men's side, I don't even know. We're gonna do it right now, and I have no idea what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
It's a little nutty. Like we'll go through the list of players on the top, and I'm going to say one of these players is going to be in the finals of the French Open.
Exactly.
I just want to make sure I'm not on backflip watch.
That's
right. Kostyuk goes on that run.
Well, your backflip would have to beat Iga, Svitolina, Andreeva, Kristea, and Sabalenka.
It'd be a well-earned backflip.
You would have to like
limber up.
Yeah, that would be. She would have earned that one. I'll tell you that
I'll
much.
do it.
For those who didn't listen to the Kostyuk show, Mike said he would do a backflip with her because she famously did one at the end of Madrid when she won, or his version of an attempt at a backflip if she wins Roland Garros. So
it'll be on a trampoline.
We will get
CGI.
We will absolutely get footage of that if it happens. It would be irresponsible not to. All right, Caboli beats Tien. Caboli's putting up some score lines in.
Real quick, let's take a break.
Always fucking.
Oh, we're doing that again?
You always fucking do that. Thanks for listening to Served. We will be right back. Guys, it's almost here. This year's Roland Garros. Not my best surface, but one of my favorite cities. Paris, or Paris, for you, producer Mike.
Oh, thanks, Andy. I actually am going to Paris this summer, but not for the French Open. My boss wouldn't let me off.
Your boss sounds lame.
You're my boss.
You're not wrong. But what isn't lame is this. When a tournament like Roland Garros hits, thousands of fans are suddenly trying to figure out where they're staying.
So basically the whole city turns into a scramble for where to stay?
100%. And it's not just Paris. Any city on the tennis calendar. Think about it. Fans are making last-minute decisions right now based on where their favorite players land in the draw. And if you're like me, I usually look for a place to stay before I even book my flights. And personally, a home near the tournament beats a hotel room every time. I know, because I was the guy staying in those places for 15 years.
15 years? How old are you?
So don't be the reason someone didn't book that plane ticket. Be the reason they do. If you're planning to be away, list your space on Airbnb when fans are flooding into town. You're not just giving someone a place to stay, you're putting them right in the middle of the tournament experience, where your home becomes part of their memories too. And yeah, you'll pick up some extra cash while you're at it. Your home might be worth more than you think. Find out how much at airbnb.com/host. AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built on. With the ServiceNow AI platform, your AI, data, and workflows all work together, connecting every corner of your business. To see how you can put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com/AI-agents. All right, back to the show. Welcome back to Serve, brought to you by ServiceNow. Please subscribe. Hopefully Mike won't make us go to break anymore. Can we run through the finish line here?
Yes.
Thank you for keeping the trains on the tracks in spite of my bitterness. Caboli takes out Tien. Caboli has been dropping score lines on people in a tournament full of 5-set thrillers. Caboli has unsubscribed from that plan. Rolls, learn a Tien 2-2 and 3, 2-3 and 2, something like that. Tabilo takes out Kwame. Happy for Tabilo. First time he's ever been in the fourth round of a major. Well-deserved. Kwame is legit. 17 years old. He didn't look tired at all. I think he's a physical monster. The shots he missed, he kind of went for. Bad drop shot on match point, but there's not a part of his game that you look at and say, oh, that's a complete liability at this point. His forehand has great shape to it, especially the one cross court. It feels like he hits it 8 feet above the net, and it still is kind of tumbling away by the time it gets there. Can hit the off forehand both ways. He can pull it. He can play it off to the backhand. Slides great. Will only get stronger, which is crazy to see because he's got shoulders wider than two people put together. Lot of upside for him. Pump for Tabilo, JW.
He suddenly makes Fonseca and Hodar look like veterans. I mean, he doesn't turn 18 until March. And more. So you said it. I mean, you look at him and you say, oh, this guy is, he looks like an NFL lineman and he must be serving ace. He has more drop shot winners than aces. And the way he strategized, the way he used the crowd, there was such a likability to him, such a versatility to his game. I mean, sometimes we have these kids and we say, wait till they learn how to play tennis, then they'll really be good. This is almost the opposite. Wait till he learns how to harness, wait till he learns how to unleash his power. This, as far as I'm concerned, this was the revelation of the tournament. I thought he handled the moment great. I love, you guys talked about the fact he can't even keep his prize money, which is actually kind of smart. It goes into a trust until he turns 18. But I was just blown away by the way he handled the moment, the way the durability of this kid to play under these conditions and go 5 sets and the emotions that go with it and then come right back and still stay in a match physically. Circle, highlight, underline, bold, italicize this name. This was a real week 1 revelation.
And from here on out, what we see is he's got, it looks like, at least from the eye test when I'm watching, a pretty extreme grip on the forehand side. So can that take pace on faster surfaces, right? Backhand, same thing. When he has time, I'm not worried about him. Watching, he didn't look off balance or late on many shots throughout these matches. So I think we can check the box on, can he play on slow courts? Like JW said, the last things to come around when you're kind of gaining on physicality in this sport, serve. No one ever serves bigger at 17 than they will at 22. Doesn't happen. With maybe the only question mark being Boris Becker, who was shot out of a cannon. Even Rafa, when he won the first time in 2005, was a largely defensive player, right? His ball speed improved over time a ton. He was just that good at that age. He's only going to get better. But props for Tabilo. Didn't let the crowd get to him. Didn't engage the crowd. Talked to the umpire one time, and they gave him the old French whistle boo. When he went up there. But props to him. Good job.
That was a male umpire though, so he handled it.
Don't even get me fucking started on that asshole.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it Vallejo who said a man should be refereeing his match? By the way, the point needs to be made, and I forgot to do it yesterday. Is there any irony in the fact that this guy said, and there was a woman umpiring the match for this guy who played Kwame last match, and he said, in order to control the crowd, there needs to be a man up there, which I found ironic because the guy that he lost to isn't technically a man yet. He's 17. Right? Yeah. Just imagine if you would have been playing a man, how badly it would have gone for you.
Technically a child who can't collect his paycheck.
It's I can fight the premise of like even thinking that, and then there's another level of anger, but for someone being so fucking stupid to say it out loud. Like, what do you whatever. Anyways, I'm glad you said something because that guy, whatever. Hope he gets bad line calls.
What else we got
from guys?
But so real quick, Tabilo is the fourth Chilean man ever to reach Roland Garros round of 16 since 2000, joining Fernando Gonzalez.
Rios Masu?
No Rios Masu.
Really?
The big tall dude.
Yeah, Nicholas Jerry.
Yep. And then Christian Garin.
Yep.
And then Tabila also spent only 1 hour and 53 minutes on court before this match because he had a walkover
in the third round.
Compared to Kwame had spent more than 8 hours across his first two matches. So it's impressive showing all around, but
that's it.
Conditioning gap was real.
You make your own luck sometimes. He got through and then beat the kid in front of the crowd, right?
Yeah.
Don't take anything away. You can only beat the person across from you. Berrettini grinds out Komasana, longest match of the tournament in a tournament full of long matches.
It was the longest match until the next match.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That's right.
What was the other match that went longer? It was the like a 6 hour match almost.
Collignon?
Arnaldi and Collignon. Or Cerundolo and Landaluce.
That one.
Cerundolo and Landaluce.
With no announcer calling it. It was weird.
Yeah, that's another little point.
Sorry. Keep going, Berrettini.
Yeah, Berrettini, great run. Hasn't been in the third round of a Grand Slam, I think, since 2023. Definitely not fourth round for a while.
He hasn't played this event in 5 years. That's how injured he's been.
Listen, Berrettini is well versed on a lot of surfaces. He's been in the Madrid final before. He obviously knows how to play on this stuff. Backhand was okay. Kind of got through it. It was as many great matches as we've had. This had a lot of drama, but there were some unforced errors. I'll tell you this right now, and hopefully Berrettini goes as far as he wants to go. Great opportunity against young Cerundolo in the next round. But circle this result as nobody is going to want to play Berrettini on grass. He is when he's playing well, he's one of the best 10 grass court players on earth, in my opinion. When he has health and he's playing, this is only going to help him. I don't think he's a contender here on this surface, and I think he is someone that can really, really interrupt Wimbledon and turn it on its head. Won Queen's Club a couple of times, but happy to see him healthy, playing well, and advancing.
He's one of only 3 Grand Slam finalists remaining in the entire draw, with Casper and Zverev being the other two. Yeah,
made the Wimbledon final 1 year, lost to Novak, if I'm not mistaken. Great story, wrapped in tragedy. Also, Zach Svajda wins against older Cerundolo today, which is a pretty big upset in 5. The backstory being, Svajda has been around for a long time. I forget how many years ago it was, 6 or 7. He was like 15 or 16 and won a match at the U.S. Open and then cramped the next one, and everyone's kind of looking at him. Taken some time to develop, firmly in the top 100, I think at 85 before this tournament. His father passed after a battle with cancer, if I'm not mistaken, last October. Best result in a slam by a long shot for Zach Svajda. Delivered this win against an informed player, a higher seed, and it was his father's birthday today. So if you believe that someone can look down on you and is happy and proud, hopefully Svajda is feeling that. Well-deserved win today in 5, JW. Good stuff.
Yeah, I talked to him for a bit after his match today and then 2 days ago. I mean, first of all, he's just the loveliest kid you can imagine. He's also listed generously at 5'9". He has 50 aces. I mean, he's like 5'9", like 150. He looks like, he's not a physically imposing guy. 50 aces in 3 matches. And this today, first of all, biggest win of his career by far. I mean, and the odds makers, Francisco Cerundolo was like one of the top 5 contenders. Wins the first 2 sets to Svajda, loses, and then steadies and comes back. I mean, for any number of reasons, in these conditions, this is a guy who lost 2-2 in qualifying in Geneva like 10 days ago. And now he's in week 2 of a major. As you say, he was very emotional talking about his father on his birthday. But what a result. He's also, just trivia, he's known as the single best practice player in men's tennis. If everyone wants to practice with him because he's steady, he can mimic different styles, he can put the ball anywhere you want it. But now a lot more than that. Into week 2, and for a guy who's 5'8", 5'9", that serve is no joke. So very, very impressive from him.
Got the old Sebastian Grosjean. I got a lot of pop in a smaller frame situation.
Exactly.
He had never played on red clay until 2 years ago.
Is that right?
That's what he said. He said, quote, I knew I'd get good on the clay. I thought maybe in a few years, but I never expected right now. And he said it on the desk.
I'm sure he's played. He's saying Houston's not red clay. I'm sure he's played there. Oh, okay. Anyways, moving on.
He said red clay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We'll move on. Great story for him. We won't say that Houston's not real red clay. We won't say that. We're gonna move on before anyone says that or thinks it. Svita is great story. Unbelievable story. We're cheering him on through the next round. He's got a tough one in Kaboli. The most informed player in the top half, I think, so far. We'll get to that in the redraw show coming up. Easy for me to say. Say it.
Arnoldi?
Yeah, beat Collignon in another massive 5.5 hour, 5-setter. Collignon beats Shelton. Arnoldi was searching for form and won a challenger right before Rome. Found it. And now all of a sudden here he is in the fourth round with a real opportunity. Big foe or Faria. We're still waiting on that result to come through.
It's in the fourth set, or it's in the fifth set right now.
Will affect my choice in the bracket, I'm afraid.
Dude, if Faria loses this, it'll be another 2-love turnaround.
And your theory is what? Don't
go up 2-love because you're gonna lose.
You'd be a great coach.
You're gonna lose.
It's like it's like Taylor Fritz and winning 6-love. I think wasn't Ferry up? He was up 2 sets in a break too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if any players are listening to this, Mike's not available. I'm sorry. Unavailable for coaching.
It's not science, it's feelings.
Don't get up 2 sets, you idiot.
Just in this tournament.
Who's replacing Mariano Puerta as Davidovich Fokina's coach? I think.
Do you want to go Davidovich Fokina? Just
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
I got it.
I gotta be honest. I think Davidovich Fokina would have a better chance of landing a backflip.
He would.
Yeah.
He would.
I think he could help you with that. And then listen, Cerundolo, Landaluce, those guys have put in some hours and they did it again. The fairy tale run of young Cerundolo continues against Landaluce, who we will see more of in the future. But this is just, it's hard to do. It's hard to have the biggest win of your career and then come back and put your hard hat on and go right back. Showing us a lot. This is really fun. And what a tournament, having brothers in the third round. One obviously had a great result today. One had one that he probably would want back against Zach Vida, but this is great stuff. Everyone's just playing forever. Mm-hmm. You just have to assume every match is going to go 5 hours at this point.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is wild.
This I don't know, this JW, like this tournament, we were saying yesterday, the tournaments develop their own personalities. This week 1 definitely kind of carved out its own personality, right?
Yeah. This is, as I think, like I started covering around the time. Have you seen a tournament? I think you and I sort of came up with this. I can't recall anything like this. I mean, there's some batshit days and there are a bunch of upsets, but this is weird. And I also feel like just conventional wisdom goes out the window. And he played a 5-setter. He's going to be tired. Just pick your, Casper Ruud played a 5-setter. He really exhausted himself in these hot conditions. He's going to be beat. And then he plays Tommy Paul and wins in 4 hours and 43 minutes. I mean, it just like conventional wisdom goes out the door. All of these upsets. I mean, I think the cliche of the margins are thin. I mean, some of these matches, if you said this is a Tuesday session at a 250, Landaluce against the younger Cerundolo, you're like, okay, that's like a middle of the day Tuesday session in Tashkent, and here we are in the middle weekend of a major. It's been a lot of fun, I guess, but remember in Australia when there literally wasn't a memorable match until like the last weekend? This is the complete opposite, where the seeds are dropping like flies, but there have been a lot of really electric matches. And if you're a tennis purist, this has been a really fun event. If you've come to see the stars and suddenly you show up and it's Landaluce and Cerundolo, you're sort of wondering what happened. But I cannot recall, at least on the men's side, an event as batshit crazy as this one.
I got one for you. You ready?
What do you got?
It's been a minute. 2002 Wimbledon, the year Hewitt wins it. Malise, Rusetsky, Nalbanyan was ranked like 50 in the world at the time, gets through. It was carnage for the top seeds during that tournament, but not since then. I don't think it had the drama of the length of matches. I don't think it had the extreme conditions. But as far as just fucking chaos, 02 Wimbledon on the men's side is is my only comp top of my head. I'm sure I'm getting something wrong, but there was a lot of chaos going on.
That's true. But someone's like, your picks are horrible. You and Andy really do. And I'm like, oh yeah, I saw Alexander Blocks. I should have envisioned him, crashing into a tarp in the backcourt. Oh, shouldn't we have picked against Sinner on a hot day? There have been so many sort of, apart from the upsets, just sort of unlikely events in general. It's been a lot of fun. I got to say on the other grounds, the opportunity, we'll talk about this in the redraw show, but man, the opportunities, there are going to be so many players who are going to either be kicking themselves or, taking advantage of these glaring absences. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've seen the stat before. When Novak went out, that was the last major champion. And that was on a Friday. I mean, it's just, this is the statistical outlier. This sort of blows up everything.
Listen, there's two things. Our picks, along with most of Earth, were a fucking disaster. All right. And two, most people who make predictions either predict to the semis or they predict one winner. And so that means they can only be wrong one time. We do every single match like morons. Just so we're clear, we're going to be wrong a lot more when we have 200x the volume of everyone else. But here we are. We got to lay on the sword because I would certainly be chirping and letting you know if we got it right.
Well, while we wait for these other two matches to finish, we could pick the bottom half of the redraw, Menchik, Rublev on down. And then, dude, I'm watching this Tiafoe match. They just got into like an exchange at the net with the ump. And like, I think Big Foe said, I'm reading the captions right now. I think Big Foe looked at him and says, "You're not hard, bro." I think that's what the caption just said. He said, no, he said it to
Faria?
Yeah.
Oh, they're getting into it.
They got into it, and like the ump came down out of the chair, and she was like yelling. I don't know what happened. I like looked down, and they were having an exchange at the net. So can't wait to look at whatever that was once we get off the air.
Ooh,
Big Foe.
You ain't hard.
You're not hard, bro.
Ooh, I'd like to. It's gonna sound creepy, but it's not. I'd like to see the camera footage from the locker room after that one.
Oh man.
I'd like to see if we bump some chests in there afterwards. Woo. All right.
Big Foe serving right now in the fifth, 2-2.
Might even be. Yeah, my picks. We're gonna get to the part where I'm just gonna make a pick based on Foe winning or Foe losing. That's what we're gonna do. We can start. I think we just
start at the bottom half.
We'll start at the bottom half. I had Zverev to the final before the tournament started. That's not going to change. The pressure set has completely changed. Obviously, slides right into the favorite position. He plays De Jong, your guy, who you stuck with. Really? It definitely wasn't that you just forgot to replace Fils.
Yeah. He's my guy.
Like the lucky loser?
Yeah.
No. Do you know what happened here, John?
You picked the lucky loser and he's still in the tournament.
No, he forgot to switch his pick from Fils, so Fils got changed to a lucky loser. He didn't know who it was, and he had Fils going to the fourth round of the quarter, so therefore he's adopted the points for De Jong.
It's better be.
That's the perfect metaphor for this tournament.
It's better be lucky than good.
You're a lucky loser. I have Hodar Zverev. I have Zverev going through that one. I had Rublev to the quarters, one of the rare good picks that I had. No, I didn't. I had him going to round of 16, and then I had Rude going to the semis against Zverev. So I'm going to keep that just because I don't want to flip it. Look for the Fonseca. It's interesting because that match against Novak's ball flight is lower. I'm going to be very curious how much pace Fonseca can create on the backhand side when it's up out of the zone. The single thing that Casper Ruud does as well as anyone on the earth is he had more RPMs than Rafa's last couple years on tour on that forehand side, meaning spin rate. More spin than any player off of that side, which means instead of having it in your pocket, it goes up 6 inches. So it'll be really interesting to see the difference in ball flight and how that affects Fonseca. We saw that he was able to handle Novak when the ball was down. He was getting a lot of forehands kind of between the waist and the shoulders. If those are up above the shoulders, do airs creep in? Something to watch. I think I picked Ruud just because we didn't know what we were going to get with Novak. I'm not going to switch my pick, but I mean, man, he was fun to watch the other day. I went off just, that was one of my favorite matches that I've seen in the first week of a slam in tens of years, JW.
You know what's funny is that after that, I had to work Casper and Tommy Paul. you know, sort of like, oh, this is sort of the walkaway bout in boxing. That was a great match too.
Yep.
That was thoroughly enjoyable. Tommy Paul had like 80 net approaches. Casper sort of outbattled him despite having played forever the previous. I mean, it's really, again, if you love tennis and you're not just here to see stars, this has been a really fun event. It's so funny, isn't it, too, that, you know, Djokovic had his opportunities, and if he closes that out in the third, fourth, or fifth set, this not only is the draw, I mean, the whole complexion, the whole energy, the whole vibe of this tournament becomes completely different. And it's holy shit, Novak just beat Fonseca, and the two guys who have given him trouble are no longer in the draw. We're going to see a 25th major, aren't we? That's not the vibe. I think Casper Fonseca could be a lot of fun. I think these conditions, especially if it cools off as much as we've been told, might impact that. I don't know. I mean, I think my draw now looks a lot like yours. I have Casper beating Rublev. I have Hodar losing to Zverev. I hate to put it in these terms, but man, if not now, when for Zverev? Zverev's win this tournament.
Ruud, by the way.
I was about to say, and Ruud.
And Casper too,
making,
yeah.
like, it's just, by the way, like, Casper's made 3 slam finals. I mean, as many, he's as accomplished, you know, not, Zverev has more quarter semis, but as far as finals go, and as far as like looks at the basket, like, Ruud's lost 2 finals at the French Open, and no one's really giving him that credit. And it's kind of, I don't, you know, he needs to be talked about more.
I got at some point another time when we're not doing a redraw show, I'll show you my interaction with him after the match, after a 4-hour and 43-minute match, when he was the coolest, most like conversational guy you can
Just
imagine.
go.
Like,
I mean, we got time.
We're waiting on
time
Foe. We're waiting to see if Foe and Faria come to blows. So why don't you just go for it?
I had to do the the post-match interview, and you sort of first question. It was a real battle out there, but you sort of play these things close to the vest. I said, I don't know if you could hear the cheers from Chatri, but do you know who you played next? This guy's played 4 hours and 43 minutes. He beats Tommy Paul. I tell him who he plays. That's Fonseca, and then he sort of, they're trying to cut the interview off. The guy's tired. You only get a couple questions. They're doing the throat slash gesture behind me, and Casper's. He wants a full breakdown. Novak was up 2 sets though. He came back and he won in 5. He wants a recap of the match after playing 4 hours.
That's funny.
He sort of gets in a tennis conversation. Anyway, I here's another one. If Casper wins this event, or for that matter, Zverev, they've won 1 major. They've been to 3 finals. I mean, they're a Hall of Fame player. This is a complete reshaping of their tennis biography in a week from now.
We talked about that yesterday. I made the exact same points. It's like, their resumes with Grand Slam winner, especially Zverev, like his, I was really good at counting stats outside of 1 major, like won 32 times. Like by the percentage of matches I won was like, better than some guys who won multiple slams. I didn't. So obviously it doesn't matter, but I had great counting stats. Zverev has better counting stats. He's in. Like there's not even a conversation. He's won Olympic gold. He's won World Tour finals twice. He's won way more 1000s. Like no brainer. Zverev for sure. And Ruud makes a case.
He's the only. I just read this somewhere. He's the only player born after 1990. He's won like 551 matches. The only player born after the 80s who's won that many. If he can win this tournament, he's like a no-brainer Hall of Famer.
Oh, it's not close.
And Right, but if he doesn't, what are we going to say?
No, I don't think so. I think you gotta are we going to set precedent? Because if he gets in, do we invite David Ferrer in? I love David Ferrer. He's one of my favorite players of all time. I think if you add Zverev without a major, you add 12 guys, right? Like I think then it becomes a different conversation. Anyways, I can't wait. Listen, it's gonna be fun to watch. The pressure mechanisms are different. Rublev quietly going through. No one really paying much attention, and he's kind of just motoring through the draw. All right, let's go to the top. We're going to have to do with or without Foe picks there at 3-all in the 5th. Right now, I'm going to take Berrettini. So think about these matchups. Cerundolo, Berrettini, both coming off 5-setters. Smoked. Hodar, smoked. Ruud, Fonseca, both coming off 5-setters, smoked. The same storylines with whose body can recover. We're guessing. Like we kind of have. We don't know if Cerundolo can go. We don't have enough of a sample size. We don't know where Berrettini's at with his injuries and what shape he's in. Can he get through one? Coming back, recovery days. We don't know that right now. So listen, shot in the dark. I think Foe makes the semis if he wins. So I like Foe if he gets through. I mean, this is just like this tournament, though. It's like, if this happens, then I don't know, fuck you, Magoo. I don't know.
So you want to indulge me in this thought exercise.
Yep.
What would you rather be? The Zverev, Ruud, Berrettini type, even Felix to some extent, where it's like, holy shit, is this an opportunity? This two-headed monster isn't in action, and man, is the door open? Or would you rather be one of these kids who's like, fuck it, I don't know any different. I don't know if my body can handle it. I'm just going to keep playing tennis and smacking. Like, what would ignorance is bliss, or would you rather be somebody with veteran experience who recognizes the weight of the occasion?
I would have been happy to have been the 25-year-old version of myself without Roger, Rafa, or Novak in the draw. I would have taken those chips and bet that I would have choked less than the field. Murray also in that conversation, but like I was good at like winning slimy matches against guys that I should beat. But the freedom, I mean, listen, they're young, but they also know that their traffic's going to have to go through these two guys at some point. It's not as if Alcaraz and Sinner are gone. They're going to be right back in this conversation. Like this is an outlier of an event. They're going to be back at some point. I know Carlos is going to take it easy. I know Sinner's going to take it easy, but let's have no illusions that they're not by far the best two players in the world right now, just because.
No, but that only makes next week all the more urgent, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you get to live in an alternate universe for one more week.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at Foe. Throw him in that conversation. He's been in the semis of a bunch of slams. I'd rather be Zverev. And listen, I'm either good enough or I'm not. And I gotta go. I have the experience. I've played in these finals before. I have everything that I need now for this to be the time, especially with my two toughest matchups not in the tournament. Three toughest matchups not in the tournament. I would have taken my chances with that pretty much all the time.
A lot of these guys have put a lot of time on court, but obviously the weather's going to break a little bit. They say it's already dropping down overnight. Yep. It's going to drop by 20 degrees. How much of a factor will that be moving forward for any of these body types? Because you talk about ball flight and you talk about the difference in the clay.
Zverev can play on anything.
Yeah.
Grass, maybe not so much. Hodar, with more time on the ball, is going to be better, right? So as the conditions get slower, I actually kind of has that Soderling type build where he has those guys with those long levers that can create speed off of a dead ball. Both sides, he can create pace. Like Berrettini, if it slows down, you can try to pick off, and I'm saying this because like, as far as game comps, Berrettini and I were like very similar. His forehand's probably better. My backhand was probably a little bit better. My chip was better, but like we kind of construct points the same way where we're trying to hide a bit of a liability. As it gets slower, people can access that easier, and he's not getting less free points on his serve. Cerundolo, we'll see. TBD. I think Foe likes a faster court. I think Caboli can play on kind of anything. If I like FAA, assuming he gets through.
Over Tabilo.
I like Caboli over Schweida, but I would be very happy for Schweida if he somehow figured it out. I think FAA with his serve gets through Caboli. I think if it's someone neutral who get into rallies, and I know that's a leap. I don't even like saying things right now. Like I'm so not confident. FAA has a shot at being the final here, JW. If he can get through Nakashima.
He was really on the ropes in his very first match that several of us saw as upset potential. Not a great track record, not only here, but he hasn't been a great year, to be honest. A lot of those points came from the U.S. Open in the fall. And yeah, I think I'm looking at the score here. All right, he's up 5-4. I also think, talk about the depth of Italian tennis. So Sinner had his issues, and we still may well have 3 Italians in the last 8, and one of them's not Jannik Sinner. That tells you something. I think Berrettini intrigues me. I mean, he was barely in the top 100 not that long ago, but I'm going Caboli. He's sort of hot and cold
to the final.
I'm going Caboli to the final.
Caboli to the final.
I think the winner of. Do you agree with me on this? The winner. We're going to look silly in a couple of days, but the winner of Ruud Zverev wins this tournament.
Oh no, not us looking silly.
Doing a prediction that didn't come to fruition.
I think that but what's gonna happen now that we've said it out loud is that Fonseca and De Jong are gonna win.
Zach Spida.
I think that's gonna happen. Now I'll put this on you because we both made our picks. I'm sure from the sounds of it, you can tell that we're just fully confident in our picks right now. Imagine if you would have told Zverev 2 weeks ago that there is a lot of dumb shows after the first week saying, yeah, the most likely opponent that you have in the final is Caboli or FAA.
Yeah. Where
Interesting.
do I sign?
But
and what about this? And I'm the king of the night session. I have not logged the wear and tear of anyone else in the field. And I mean, to Zverev's credit, I mean, look, we all know this is a huge opportunity for him. He's number one with the odds makers. He's the one thing we've talked about this. I mean, the one thing you have to say about him is that he's very realistic about sort of what's going on with his career.
He knows exactly.
He's also played really well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every time you catch a peak, he's drilling the backhand. He's moving well. I mean, to his credit, he's also totally taking care of business in week one.
He's gotten so good, and Foe's about to close this out. It's up a break. He's about to break to win again. So hell of an effort. Foe, by the way, doesn't get through these last 2 5-setters without a dedication to fitness and without scheduling properly and without scheduling in breaks to get fitter. So we're making an assumption here that he gets through this one now. There it is. He just won.
Got it. Let's see how icy
can we get a hand? Can we get a handshake?
Yeah,
report?
I'm going to give you a play-by-play of. He's pointing. He's saying, "This is my house." Here's the handshake. Let's see if it's frosty. Oh, get out of the way! There's a guy standing in front of the camera. Let's see how this goes. Oh, it was great.
No, it wasn't bad.
It was warm.
Bad.
They left it. Maybe for another day. Faria didn't talk shit. Credit to him. Like he didn't try to poke. Great win for Foe. This is gritty. This is showing. This is surviving another day. This is how you make runs.
Oh, he's yelling. Love it.
At Grand Slams. Great work by Foe there. Little did he know, in real time, he's in the semis already, just based on our show. I probably shouldn't have done that because we're like a death sentence.
Now someone's going to steal his racket in the celebration, and he's not going to be able to play the next round.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our redraw show. Producer Mike, we got anything else?
No, we got nothing. We're heading into the second week. This has been fun.
It's been really I know there's, and deservedly so, there's a million Sinner fans out there. There's a million Carlos fans out there. There's a million Coco fans out there. Raducanu has been playing great. This is interesting because we haven't had this random nature of a tournament for 20-something years. We've had legends who have dominated, and we have been lucky to watch them. And I don't know, it's been so long, I'm kind of into chaos, JW.
Gaston Gaudio. You're totally right. I mean, we talked about this a lot. We had the big three and how lucky we were in this gilded generation, and then immediately when we were expecting a letdown, what did we have? 2 other guys come who won between them 9 straight majors. Now we have this crazy outlier event. To me, it's going to be interesting to see: are we going to reflect on this as the chaos Roland Garros that was kind of wacky fun, or are we back to regressing? I don't know about regressing. I mean, are we sort of back in the days of any given Sunday, and these tournaments are all crazy? I don't think so, but I think this has been been really fun. And I remember in Australia, we kept saying it's so predictable. We haven't had any 5-setters. There's been no drama. The 1-point slam was the highlight of the first 12 days. We got some nice finals, but it didn't. This is completely the opposite. This is like spellbinding match after spellbinding match, or just by players who were playing qualifiers and challengers a few weeks ago sometimes.
I don't think we're going to look back on this and say it was like back to parity. I'm not going to go there. The same 2 guys have won every Grand Slam since the 2023 US Open. One's not here, one's hurt, and one needs to solve physical issues in a very specific set of conditions. But they're 2 of the greatest of all time. And I don't think now if Hodar goes through, if Fonseca goes through, do we have the beginning of our Novak against Roger and Rafa? That's an interesting conversation to me. Maybe. Does Zverev get through and become, one of the guys who's really good and got a major? Maybe. Either way, I've enjoyed it. It's been nuts. It's been fun. And here's to some more chaos in week 2. Thanks for watching Serve. Thanks for being here with us every day. Brought to you by ServiceNow. JW, get some sleep. AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built on. With the ServiceNow AI platform, your AI, data, and workflows all work together, connecting every corner of your business. To see how you can put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com/AI-agents.